Hello everybody, welcome back to the Punk Rock Player One channel. Today we are looking at Darko US and their latest release, Starfire. I was trying to read it from here. And we'll just start with the first song, which is the namesake, Starfire. It has very futuristic sounds at the beginning, and I can already tell that this album is going in an industrial kind of direction. Because of how fast the drums and the guitars are. Like, sure, there's death metal and metalcore that have fast drums, but like this is so fast that I kind of have to lump it into the industrial kind of part of it. Which, by the way, industrial is awesome. I love Nine Inch Nails. That's kind of what a little bit of this song reminded me of, with those like really fast, like obvious machine drums and machine guitars. Not saying they could not play this; they could totally play this. Because I believe these two guys, I forgot the names of the bands they're from. I think one of them is Chelsea Grin, if I'm mistaken, might be. But they're both from heavy bands, so I mean these guys can play. So very industrial. Intro. The intro has a gun cock kind of sound before the first drop, which is cool. They do some cool sound effects before the drops in this album. And industrial drums. Surprised Starfire didn't make it in my top 5, but I do recommend that track. It's a good song. Distant World featuring Stormstroke has a cool intro. It has a lot of death metal vocals and a kind of an EDM build up with an insane drop into more industrial drums. The vocals on here almost remind me of Rob Zombie like vocals at one point, and that might be Stormstroke doing that possibly. The atmospheric sounds. There's a lot of atmospheric sounds in this album, by the way, so it can get a little creepy, which is cool. Into a crazy guitar portion with clean vocals. Okay, so the clean vocals might be Stormstroke. I'll have to figure that out later, but whatever the feature did, thumbs up. Good job. And yeah, there's a slam section right after that so it went from clean vocals to a slam section. So that happens a lot with this album. So if you have headphones on, just prepare to get jump scared. Just be like occasionally, because that they'll throughout the album, after these first few songs, there's some chill songs, right? And throughout the chill songs, I would just be like leering around the corner, hoping there wasn't going to be like a jump scare drop, kind of like the Knocked Loose song that does that at the beginning of their new album. And it happens sometimes, and it got me. So beware, headphone users. And then it ends with a nice female singing at the end. So Distant World had all of the bells and whistles, so this is going to end up in my top 5. By the way, it's going to be a lot more than top 5 since there's 19 songs on this album. So this is a pretty hefty offering. It's pretty great. Next song, Death Charge, featuring Mark Zelli, is what I would call nu metal tinged death metal, and it does have some clean vocals and some death metal kind of rapping, kind of like trap metal or rap metal rapping. And the song goes incredibly hard. The feature is brutal but very good, and there's dissonant chug part over halfway through, and then back into your industrial instrumental and death metal screaming. And it has very well incorporated hand claps. So these guys, and this song will also end up in my top 5 or 15 or whatever. These guys definitely have a pop sensibility. You can tell with that, because they're just not sticking with your formulaic, regular kind of death metal. They're just throwing anything in there and it still makes sense though. So you can tell that they know like structure of a pop song, like kind of, like chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, but they kind of incorporate their death metal into that, or verse, chorus, verse, chorus, something like that. But these guys are good. They know what we're doing. Next song, 5D, has a clean intro into melodic metal uh, for the beginning, and then screaming vocals, but still melodic instrumental, and has clean vocals too. So it kind of has both going at the same time. Interesting sound. And the I said this guitar melody at the beginning very much is like Midwest emo kind of melody, and chiming guitars over the yelling, and some emo singing as well when they do have clean vocals on here. It's very like emo kind of vocals. Not screaming, but like chill, clean emo vocals. And they very much in this song take advantage of a good cop, bad cop singing. And there's a cool middle interlude with chill vocals, and right at the end of that, there's a cool noodly kind of guitar build up that leads into a pretty heavy breakdown, and a mix of like emo and heavy at the end. So I'm surprised 5D didn't end up in my top 15, but yeah, check it out. It's an interesting listen. Rampage it has an unsettling kind of drone at the beginning, and crazy vocals, like insane vocals. I mean, I could say crazy and you just be like, okay, he's just saying crazy. No, like, go listen to the song. Like, it will melt your ears off. Like, it's pretty angry vocals. And it also has rapping, but in death metal kind of vocals at some points, and even has a melodic section after that. And this in particular song reminds me a lot of Bring Me to the Horizon's new album, and also Bring Me to the Horizon's old death metal stuff. And it has a person saying WTF into the drop, which is pretty funny. And it kind of has basically just a straight up Nine Inch Nails interlude. And this, in my opinion, Rampage is the heaviest song of the album yet in this listen in order. And there is also a cool synth keyboard outro with chorus. So Rampage immediately also gets put into the list of glory. Next song after that, Atomic Origin featuring Garrett Russell, has kind of like cool Stranger Things synth notes, which is interesting, and a drum and bass in the song. What? I gotta mention the drum and bass. And it has a really insane beginning drop with the fastest guitars I've ever heard. Like, I'm not even kidding you. And then there's a crazy mix between industrial and death metal. And it also has another drop after that into another drum and bass section. And the feature also sounds awesome. Just when you think the song is going to let off the gas, like I was talking about earlier, it doesn't. It just goes harder. And yeah, I put that this song is definitely genre bending at its finest. And it also ends up in my top 15 or 20 or whatever. There's not even 20 tracks in this album. Top 19, maybe. Next song, Crybaby, has chill vocals and acoustic guitar at the beginning. And this song very much sounds like a movie credits ending song. And at any point, I'm expecting a huge death metal drop throughout the song. I got halfway. I kept on checking the time for this song. I was looking at the halfway point. I was like, oh no, they're going to get me. Going to get me with a heavy metal drop. And it didn't happen. I was expecting like a and I was like, oh, but it never happened. So, Crybaby, No need to be a crybaby. You'll be safe listening to Crybaby. And the keyboards were very good on this one. It was just all a chill song. So you got a little breather. Into Chrome Moon, it has a clean guitar at the beginning, and then into the jump scare I was waiting for of death metal. And then it goes into Slam. Still has kind of a groove though. And it has crazy vocals that kind of sound like laughs. So, and the laughs are echoing in your ears with the Dolby Atmos or whatever. And I was starting to freak out, I'm not gonna lie. It has video game sound effects throughout, just like Bring Me the Horizon, newest album, by the way. There's a crazy drop at the middle part and a little maraca part as well. I mean, why not? And then there's a creepy chant towards the end, and then a cool synth part, and another drop at the end. So I'll mention this later, but just because of the creepy laughs and kind of the weird atmospheric stuff, I probably wouldn't listen to Chrome Moon again. Just because, like, why would I make myself listen to that? I mean, it's a good song, and there's a lot of good parts in it, but I kind of didn't like the chant. The chant was pretty creepy at the end, and the laughs in the middle were kind of creepy. So, I'm not looking to be scared from music. Just my opinion. Uh, maybe I'm a wimp for that. I don't know. Next song, Bunny Suit, has tech sound effects and a drum and bass beginning. Kudos. Good duetting vocals on this song as well. Kind of like back and forth and then together singing with the same melody. And then a good groove and rhythm in the song as well. And a little bit of like kind of record skipping into a drop, which is all also very cool. And a guitar solo that kind of sounds like a video game. So the best way to describe that would be like you're playing Galaga, and the sound where it's like so that sound, but guitars playing that and going very fast. And there's a little chill interlude with some what-ohs into a smooth kind of pop section. And I put, when I was listening to this album, that this is the best song of the album so far. And that kind of makes sense because this was one of the singles. So, well done. And I think it might be their most popular song for this album, too. Has a pretty heavy drop during the chill synths. So it'll catch you off guard. Prepare for that, headphone users. And I just put, that was a journey. So this song is a description. That was a journey. So go listen to Bunny Suit. I also put the song in my top 15. Sora featuring Marcus Bridge. I'm not sure if this is about Sora from Kingdom Hearts. I have no idea. It has a chill song with kind of a glitch sound at the beginning that freaked me out for a second. So, like, I'm literally looking for any kind of jump scare moment for this album. So, there was a glitch moment. I was like, because I thought I was about to get the death metal jump scare. But it didn't happen. Had a little bit of drum and bass in it. And the feature is terrific. I could definitely tell who the feature was. Is singing clean vocals for this one. And a very pretty song. An amazing post-chorus. And it's essentially a Sonic the Hedgehog song. The reason why I say that is kind of like the Sonic R soundtrack or any kind of drum and bass Sonic song. So this also ends up in my top 15. Pleasures has a lot of creepy sounds and then some dude saying silence. And then it goes into the death metal part of the song. And this Pleasures has the fastest drums so far and a very crunchy kind of guitar tone. And best sounding guitars of the album yet, I would say, for this song. And has a cool like 80s interlude with even more drum and bass. And best vocals so far as well. So Pleasures I think easily would be my favorite song of the album. Looking at this list, I'm looking at my description of all these songs. I think Pleasures might be up there. We'll see. We'll see if any of these next ones top it. Met Control has a very chill beginning with kind of chug guitars laced in, and melodic vocals layered with screams, um, which is like pretty and menacing at the same time. And there's cool glitch sounds leading to the first drop, and distorted vocals and guitar into like a dance rhythm for a second. And it sounded like a jet was taking off at one point in the song. And because he had all these things going on at the same time, leading to the build up. And it has a keyboard interlude into a melodic instrumental that has screaming. And yeah, it's a very, very impressive sounding song. Like you can tell they put a lot of work into the song. And oh, okay. So I said this song is my favorite song. So this also ended up in my top 15. So Met Control number 1, Pleasures number 2. Green Machine featuring David Suminich and Michael Barr, might have butchered that, has a very heavy start and cool clean vocals from the feature, and kind of like a hard rock kind of hook. And I put that I really enjoyed the instrumental on this song, and it also has the heaviest breakdown so far and the angriest vocals from the Darko guys so far. And I also I do like the noodly guitar that they did during the singing for the chorus, and they did just a perfect mixture of good cop bad cop vocals for this song, and it had like a techno kind of outro. So this also ended up in my top 15. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Like all these songs so far, I think only Chrome Moon I would skip. Looking at it now. Yep. Next song is Teardrop Sunshine. This is very chill with like a indie rock shoegaze-ish vocals beginning. It picks up halfway through with the same kind of lead guitar and screaming. So indie rock, lead guitar, and screaming. So interesting combination there. But the interludes back to like a very chill chorus. And this song definitely to me has like a nu metal song structure and screaming parts that are freaking awesome and cool synths at the end. And I highly recommend you listen to this song. So Teardrop Sunshine, a little bit also in my top 15. And the next song, Virtual Function, features Scarlord. Now, if I remember right, Scarlord is trap metal or metal rap, but I'm pretty sure, or like emo rap, something like that. Maybe trap metal. But he has the feature on the song with the rapping, and it's pretty good. It leads into a cool like knife noise into the verse change, and it has like a pretty menacing screaming and also a pretty intense breakdown halfway through. And it has a lot of ambient noises and insane drumming throughout the ambient noises. So it sounds like you're just in the middle of a forest or something, and you're hearing the wind, and then there's some dude like beating the crap out of some drums in the distance. And there's a cool like keyboard hook and a violin outro, and it still has the intense vocals. And at the end, it just kind of sounds like a Resident Evil save room for the kind of chill instrumental they had at the end. So interesting song. Song after that, Shanghai, has a EDM build up with rap at the beginning, and a cool kind of guitar scratches and shredding during the build up, and the guitars sound like a video game sound effect again, like I was talking about earlier with Galaga, and sometimes. And there's a cool rap interlude with melodic change up at the end with clean vocals. And there's also a lo-fi interlude, and that's lo-fi, it's the like chill, kind of slow, reverbed kind of sound at the end with some drum and bass. And this also ended up in my top 15. The record is over. Time for More is literally just that. It's a lo-fi kind of ambient background with a automated girl voice saying those exact words. Finding Love in a World of Tragedy is like has a piano beginning and clean vocals, and it has like a classic metal build up at the end, which is surprising because these guys are like anything but classic metal, but that's what it sounded like to me for this song. And there were no surprises, no jump scares in this song, no death metal jump scares. And then The Mother has a chill ambient beginning with light keyboards and like chiming kind of guitar. That's the best way I can describe it. Like very close to Midwest emo, indie rock, kind of sweet picking. That's not the term. I don't even know what sweet picking is, but like very lightly picking the guitar and background talking. And then there is one last jump scare, literally like 40 seconds before the song ends. So they get you one last time. So well done. What I would give this album, I feel like I would only skip the last three. The Record is Over for Time, and then Finding Love in a World of Tragedy, The Mother, and Chrome Moon, like before, because it has creepy laughs. And I'm not about that. I'm sorry. But literally, this is a perfect album. And I almost feel like it's a good kind of death metal, like, what's that called? Like a duo album that you can have the Bring Me the Horizon album, the new one, Next Gen, and then this album. You can listen to those together, and it just like a companion album. Yeah, there we go. So I would give this album a 9 out of 10. Go listen to it. These guys are, I believe they're very well known in the death metal, metalcore, deathcore community. And yeah, go check these guys out. Solid album. 9 out of 10. See you guys later.